That's not supposed to happen. Whoops. Yeah, that's not good. This thing is gone. So let's just quickly break these free. Because another thing I want to do is also check the condition of these brake pads. Because, yeah, the wear is going to be very interesting to see on these. Okay, yeah. Also, yeah, these brake pads are getting there. Oops. There we go. Crack the top one. Beautiful. It looks like some sort of anti-seize, which just gummed up. Nice. Whoops. Yeah, you can really see the movement in that. Okay. Let's take out this cotter pin. Brilliant. There you go. Nice and simple. Axle is out. Okay. Yeah, and there's some scoring on there. That's where the that one's free. There you go. That's the third bolt. Nice and simple. do it. Oh, there you go. That is rough. Should have probably replaced this rubber seal, but I don't have one right now, so we're just gonna go for the best. That is beautiful. Anyways, time to find out the torque setting. And before I continue with that, yeah, as you can see, the footage ends there. This is another video where it gets really messy just because of the camera kept dying due to the cold. So I'll try and piece together what happens next. I was also running like low on time at the moment. Anyways, once I got that done, I also wanted to upgrade the brakes, hence bigger brakes. This can be done using that, a Ford Expedition. Now, this is the only year that was available to me at the time. That's a 99, and it's in very good condition, all things considered. Anyways, so I grabbed the rotors first. Oh, not the rotors. I grabbed the calipers and the brake pads first because it seemed like this had a brake job done very recently before heading to the junkyard. It's interesting. So you'll see that, but there's an issue. This is taking a lot longer than I expected. I had to redo the passenger side, and that's because of these. These are the actual rotors from the Expedition. This is from the F150. One of the differences is that you see how the Expedition is much thicker. It's only like 3 millimeters, but that's not what I thought mattered. If you put it side by side, you'll notice that they're pretty much the same height. The Expedition is actually a bit lower, but what matters is this height here, how thick this part is. Because if we measure them, that's about 8.8 millimeters. That's about 9.3. It's about half a millimeter difference, which may not sound like a lot, but it actually is. If you use the old F150 rotors on this, with the Expedition calipers and brackets, the stock wheels, are going to be sitting ever so slightly too close to the caliper bracket and actually pinch on it, and it will seize. I learned that the hard way and had to go back to the junkyard to pick up the rotors off of the same Expedition. Luckily, it is in very good shape, and even though it was on a 12 millimeter hub, these holes are big enough for 14 mils. So I think it's just the same one, either or. So, with all that said, let's get the Expedition brakes finally complete with the driver's side. done. Yeah, so, anyways, later on, it's a bit of a time skip. The brakes have been doing well. There's just one issue that I had to deal with in replacing the crush washers, but that's fine. It's all sorted out. They feel very, very good, which I like. Much better than the old ones, although I don't know if that was because I didn't bleed them properly the first time or whatnot, because it just felt squishy. Could also be because of the wheel bearing was making it not put enough pressure reliably. Anyways, the next thing that I had to do, which is right over here, was dealing with the P0306 code. So yeah, it came up again a couple more times, and I hadn't noticed this, but yeah, it was roughly idling for like pretty badly. What I thought the rough idle was when the engine would actually stumble, but soon you'll see that that wasn't the only symptom. Anyways, I was getting a P0306 code, which specifically talks about cylinder 6 having a misfire. We already replaced all the spark plugs in the first video, so couldn't be those. The next step, I was just throwing parts at this point, was the ignition coils, or in this case, the coil unplugs. That's what they probably are. So, with all that said, I did torque them properly and sort all of that out. Don't you worry, we're just gonna slide this all the way here. And yeah, put you back here. So here we are back in the truck. This is a coil unplug. We are still having a misfire issue, and it is still saying it's the cylinder 6, a P0306 code. It's only appeared a handful of times, but you can certainly feel that the truck is misfiring, and that is when it's even when it's idling at a standstill. So I don't think it has anything to do with the transmission. It could be, but from what I'm seeing, it seems to be more so a coil unplug problem. What I thought was cylinder 6 when I first did the spark plugs, the one with the aftermarket coil unplug, was actually cylinder number 3. Cylinder number 6 seemed to be a normal one. So we'll throw in another aftermarket one, just BWD. See how that works. If it fixes it, perfect. If it doesn't, don't really have the means to diagnose anything further right now. So I know it's not the best idea, but we're slapping in parts and hoping that it fixes it, because it runs very nicely at times, but when it starts misfiring, the engine just shudders so much, especially under acceleration, between 45, 55 miles per hour or 80 kilometers. It's around that range. So we'll throw this in, see how it works. Hopefully it fixes it. Problem being, cylinder number 6 is on the driver's side. It's on the driver's side, which has all the random garbage in the way that we have to remove. But regardless, we're going to be removing the air filter, the intake, that sort of stuff. It's going to be fun times, but it shouldn't take too long. Should be fine. And as long as I have, do I have my, no, that's ultra gray. There we go, dielectric grease. I'll throw this in. Well, anyways, let's get to it. most of the work is just clearing room. In this case, there's a couple things to do. Loosen this up so you can shift it. And then this plate, which holds the power steering, the reservoir. Just crack it open. And once that's taken care of, we can move on to getting to the actual plug itself. So in this case, we're trying to get to, see that yellow thing right there? The plug is just behind it. This one right here. Gotta get this clip off, and this connector off, and then we'll be able to start taking it apart. Now in terms of how to remove this, there's a tab on the bottom. It should just slide out. Just like so. Beautiful. And then all that's holding on to the coil on plug is just a 7mm bolt. Get some extensions. In this case, this is what I had to work with. Nice little screwdriver. And then we can actually replace it. Once that's done, just pull it out. Just like so. Here you go. There's your old coil on plug. This one's an old Motorcraft one, as you can see. And that's what it looks like. So we'll replace it. We'll keep this just in case, but see what happens when we replace it. So get your new plug, put some dielectric grease onto the entrance hole. Not a lot, just enough to get some in there. Now we can go ahead and put it back in. Make sure you get your bolt in place, because it's going to be annoying to put it on afterwards. Climb back on top. Whoa. And snake its way down into the hole. There we go. Tighten it a bit. Make sure the plug is on there good. Reconnect the connector. Make sure it's on there. And now you can start putting things back together. This went underneath, just like so. Anyways, next are these. Put one, locating one there, since that's the easiest. locate this one. Or not the hose, the throttle cable. Intake, which is a bit of a mess, but it's not terrible to do. This hose, just get them started. Don't get them full yet because you need to slide it onto the throttle body, just like so. Now you can finish off the other hoses. That's one down. Just make sure that one's fully seated. That's another down. Now before you finish, make sure this thing is held on. Properly secured. Go. Slide one connector on. Slide the other. Fix it in place. That's good, that's good. Then now we can snug this down fully. Going anywhere. Make sure everything else is good. Let's buttoned up. And finally, get the cover back on. Just like that. The engine's done. Let's go start it. There you go. There we go. Feels very, very nice and steady, which is perfect. All that needs to be done is just really reset this. you go. And already this thing feels a lot more stable and nice. Like before, when it was idling, it was pretty rough. Like you can definitely feel that the engine was shifting, but now, and at certain times it would stumble, but now it is steady. So steady. That's nice. All right. Well, that's that done. All we need to do is just update the book with all of the maintenance that we've done, and we're good to go. I think we're ready to tow.